In 1747, Arthur Smith IV petitioned the General Assembly to dock a portion of his estate to form a new town. By 1752, Smithfield was officially established with its courthouse, 4 streets, 72 lots, and a wharf. William Rand was commissioned to build a bridge over the head of the Pagan Creek in 1747, and in 1750 he was contracted to build the courthouse. It is one of only 6 arcaded colonial court structures in Virginia. With its symmetrical Georgian features, its design also includes a curved apse and a conical roof.
We believe that William Rand, who built the building, patterned the rounded wall from the Capitol building in Williamsburg. That building burned in 1747, and we think he liked that architectural feature and included it in this building. The story that we love telling our visitors is that in the 1920s, when the Capitol building was being rebuilt, they found the foundation. When they were constructing it, they get to the top where the roof line is, and they can't figure out how to put a rounded roof on a rounded wall. So they did some research, and in their research, they found a tiny little building in Smithfield, Virginia that had the same architectural plan. And so Rockefeller himself came to Smithfield. They went into the attic of this building to determine the construction of the roof, went back to Williamsburg and finished the construction of the roof in the building.
As with all county courts, the 1750 courthouse was an epicenter of colonial life. Court day was the first Thursday of every month, and it was an opportunity to carry out such legal tasks as certifying business transactions with the clerk of the court. Court day was also an opportunity for residents across the county to congregate in a centralized location and hear the latest news. Amongst the bustle of court activities, vendors sold food and wares outside. Facilitating these adventures were the inn and gaming house nearby. These 2 structures, also built by Rand, gave visitors ample opportunity to find entertainment, meals, and accommodations on court day. While capital cases such as murder were conducted and ruled upon in Williamsburg, the 1750 courthouse tried cases of theft and property disputes. The county courts were largely self-led, so residents were relied upon to engage in local issues. The citizens carried out their duties as justices of the peace and jurors. However, only landed white gentlemen were accepted in those roles. Free women could only testify, and if the defendant was enslaved, only minimal due process was provided. The local court system still nurtured a spirit of independence. When the relationship between the British Crown and American colonies deteriorated, the 1750 courthouse became the site of revolutionary activity. After the First Continental Congress, Isle of Wight created its local committee of safety, which met for the first time on January 13, 1775 at the courthouse. This committee organized local defense via the militia, acted as an executive body in the newly formed revolutionary government, managed supplies such as gunpowder, and prepared for potential conflict with British forces.
During the Revolution, you often think about, okay, I wonder how many arguments took place in here, how many debates, and how many conversations took place in this building dealing with the Revolutionary War period. That's the reason I wish these walls would talk, because you would learn a lot from what they went through. We do know what happened in this building based on records here in our county, because our county has some of the oldest records.
Just as in today's court system, the records reflect debt cases and disputes between residents. Records show that in 1778, Sophia Rand Hanson charged her second husband, Charles Hanson, for spending all the money she had received from her first husband's estate. Charles Hanson pleaded guilty.
Now, a gentleman was trying to get to his mom during the Revolutionary War, and in his travels back home to be with his mother, he broke into a house and drank all the spirits that the owner had, and he was brought to court for being drunk in public and breaking and entering. A gentleman who had bought a cow in the county, and he took it home and the cow died. And the man who bought the cow brought the man who sold the cow to court to sue him for selling him a dud cow.
The court records also reflect the day-to-day operations of a locality. Throughout history, in times of war or upheaval, local government records are targeted for destruction to create chaos. Essentially, these documents were the government, and their destruction gave the enemy a foothold in acquiring control. During the American Revolution, however, Isle of Wight County's courts records were saved.
Elizabeth Bennett Young was married to the clerk of the court. His name was Francis Young, and he was away with his militia, and she had heard that the enemy was heading towards Smithfield. So she came into the courthouse, she went into the clerk's office, and she gathered up all the records and she placed them in a trunk. She took the trunk to an undisclosed location in the county. She buried them, and then when the Revolutionary War was over with, she went back, she dug them up, brought them back to the courthouse.
The county's records can be found in the record room of the county clerk's office today. By 1800, with county citizens requesting a more central location to shorten their travel time for official business, the governmental seat moved approximately 7 miles to the southwest, where it still stands. The abandoned courthouse building in Smithfield was bought by Dr. Robert Butler.
And in 1812, Dr. Robert Butler moved from Surrey County to Smithfield to start his medical practice. He bought the building and turned it into a 3-story, 10-room mansion.
Butler added a front porch covered in gray stucco and a gable and lower floor. A handful of other owners followed until in 1938 the U.S. Postal Authorities expressed interest. The building was set for demolition with a modern post office to be built in its place. However, the community stepped in. Emily Delk Simpson reached out to the Association for the Preservation of Virginia Antiquities for assistance, and with community support, the APVA raised funds to restore the exterior of the building to its original courthouse appearance. Completed by 1961, renovations included the removal of the ground and second floors, as well as the reconstruction of the brick arches. Additional work was completed in 1998 when the interior was renovated to resemble a colonial courtroom.
The transition from what it looked like during the 1750s to 1800 to what it looked like from 1812 to 1938. Quite a transformation.
Today, the 1750 courthouse educates visitors about the democratic process through tours and reenactments of court cases.
As we grow closer to the celebration of our 250th birthday for the country, I think a lot of people have become more interested in history and how things began. I tell our visitors all the time that if ever there was a building you wanted the walls to talk, it would be this one, because the building began its life under the British rule. It witnessed and saw the Revolutionary War period, and then ended its life before it moved to the middle of the county under the United States Constitution. So democracy for this area started right here.